All right. Okay. So we're back with Lit the Lost. More lit, more lost. Today's episode
More
is
lit, less loss.
less. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's a good point. Okay. Today's episode, we're going to start out with something pretty cool. It's actually a current event going on in Uganda. I'm going to refer to it as the Great Monkey Civil War because it's straight chimpanzee on chimpanzee violence right now.
Oh, I love Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It started the roots of it actually go all the way back to the 70s. Jane Goodall
I
was
love
yeah,
her.
she wasn't involved in the first one, but she got to witness it because while she was there doing all her studying and everything, she got to see the first one play out. Okay, so what it started out as was you've got one giant chimpanzee society, and for whatever reason, and I don't think it's ever been truly known, they split into two factions. For a while, they got along and everything was good. They did all right, but something happened between the two factions, which is weird because they display almost like human characteristics. One
Well,
side,
it's observation. I don't
well,
care what anybody says. Even animals observe our behavior.
right? Well, yeah, well, I get what you're saying there,
Yeah,
but yeah, yeah. One side decided to get mad at the other side, and they pretty much they declared war on them,
I
and
learned it from
so
watching you.
yeah,
That
yeah, yeah. But it was okay. So the first Civil War played out. It was one side against the other side after they broke apart, and it did not stop until one side was completely dead. So the ending result of that was half of the monkey population completely got eradicated because their side lost, their side was killed, and however many of the other side they died. Hey, you're on camera, right?
I don't care. I can't comb my hair.
Over there pruning
I was
yourself
fixing to
while
say I
you're
can't spruce up.
okay, but yeah, yeah. So one half of the side died, the other half suffered their casualties or whatever, and they won. They went on. Their population built and built and built until I guess in recent years they split up into three groups. So it was no longer the one group back then that split to two
Oh,
groups
that's good.
and then went back into one group, but then they split up into three groups. And the story I'm getting is, and all this is happening right now. The story
It's
I'm
still
getting,
happening.
yes, still happening right this minute.
This is in Uganda.
Uganda, yes. And the story I'm
That's
getting right
crazy.
now is that
Who's selling them weapons?
there ain't no weapons
It,
yet. This all straight up hand
oh,
to
okay,
hand
okay,
combat.
okay. Ain't
This is
nobody. I'm surprised somebody ain't in there trying to sell them.
no,
Hey man,
no.
I got
This is hand, foot, and
got this
teeth.
case of Uzis, and y'all can finish this.
Give it time; it'll get there. I'm sure. But the three factions broke up, but they were all friendly to each other. Everybody got along with everybody. You had monkeys jumping, from group to group to group. The monkeys would mate
And then worse,
with opposing factions. Everybody was getting along. It's almost like a truce between the Bloods and the Crips at this point. But then I guess recently something popped off and two sides declared war on each other. So you still got a third faction just
And
kind of
one of them
sitting
found
back.
oil in the trees or something.
It could be, or an extra banana stash somewhere. But you've got one side, one of the three factions, they're sitting back just watching it. You got the other two factions.
I joke, but this is wild.
Right. But you got the other two factions, they're going to all out war right now. And so what it is right now is
That third faction is a smart one because they're saying, leave them alone, let them fight it out a little bit.
well,
And
for now.
whoever's left, yeah, we'll see what happens.
But as it stands, it's kill on sight. No matter where you see them, if you're a part of this group and you see the
Man,
enemy group somewhere else, you kill them on sight.
I've seen videos where like adult monkeys attack baby monkeys and female monkeys from other and it's sadly brutal,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's heartbreaking to watch.
Right? But you've got, and I guess they all three have their own different territories. So what
Well,
you
of
got
course.
is each faction sends out basically these hit squads against each other. They'll group up and they'll go out and kill as many of them as possible, and vice versa. But here's the crazy thing: is in a very human-like kind of way, they are aware of all this stuff, and so they also have patrols. So if you're a chimpanzee from this faction, you've got squads of chimps out patrolling the area
you
making
ain't
sure
sneaking up in
trespassers
there.
don't
Yeah,
come in. But at the same time, you're also simultaneously sending out hit squads on the other side.
yeah.
Now, here's the thing: wildlife conservationists are they're in the middle of trying to decide what to do.
Now,
There's two
what can you
choices.
do? You almost
Well,
got to leave it alone.
there's two
It's
choices.
nature, right?
Choice number one is, do they sit back, let it play out, and let one side be victorious and completely kill the other side? Or choice number two is, do they go in and either scoop up an entire faction and relocate them, or do they completely kill off that entire faction and let the other ones live on?
That's what I'm saying. In a lot of ways, you almost look at it like if we're not supposed to interfere with nature, let it play out. It's none of our business. It's nature. You know
Right,
what I mean? But
right.
yeah, I
Well,
get what you're saying. Now.
if wildlife conservationists just stick back, just hang back and watch it all play out, then it all plays out.
Yeah.
If here's the thing though, is if we decide to go in and kill one side,
What side do
monkeys,
you decide to kill?
here I'm not even
Then
referring
you
to that
have
right
people
now.
saying, "Well, why'd you pick them monkeys to kill? Why didn't you pick them monkeys to
Right.
kill? Were they lighter? Was their hair color had lighter?"
Well, here's the thing though, is you have to acknowledge how human like they are. And so if we go in and start killing off one side, what's to alert the other two factions to what we're doing? And in that case, chances are most likely one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to acknowledge what we're doing and try to use that to their advantages, because monkeys are smart. If they see that we've killed off the other tribe on their behalf, what's to stop them from declaring war on another animal that they don't want in
Yeah,
that
yeah, I
area,
get that. I
with
get that.
the intention
No, I
of
get
us
that.
killing them? Or check this out, this one's even worse. What's to stop them from acknowledging what we're doing and say, hey, if they're killing off these monkeys, what's to stop them from killing off us next? In which case, they could all band together and declare war on humans. And then it'll go from us killing one side because we want the other side to live,
Yeah.
to having to kill off
No, I get that.
all
Yeah,
sides because now we're in danger.
yeah.
Man, you got monkeys. Man, it's a big monkey murking fest over there right now. And there's footage.
That's not even funny,
There,
but it's funny.
there's
Big monkey
footage too.
murking face. What'd
It's
you say, monkey murking face?
yeah, it's a big monkey murking fest over there, and they're just dropping like
Yeah,
flies
well,
too. But yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on right
FOFA,
now.
huh?
That's what's going on right now. That's my
FOFA in the
prediction.
monkey world.
You mean FAFO?
Oh yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
meant.
get it right.
I'm not allowed to cuss, so I
Yeah,
couldn't
well,
say.
yeah,
I
because we
couldn't
don't
just
cuss.
say it.
We don't cuss on the lit and the lost.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not allowed to.
Exactly.
We don't because I'm not allowed to. Yeah, that's
Okay,
all right though.
so
I'm cool with it.
so what you got?
Okay. Well,
We're just
you
going to
kind
kind
of
of
put me on the spot here.
we're just going to kind of bounce back and forth and
Okay.
see
Okay.
what we see how it plays out.
Okay. Let me get into this and not uh. See, you done put me on the spot. Like I said, I'll tell you a little story. I'm 51 years old. I didn't believe in ghosts until I was 18 years old. And the reason I started believing in ghosts is if you're from Oklahoma, like us, you probably heard of the haunted house in Central Homa, Oklahoma. Well, way back in, shoot, this was 92, 93, me and my roommates heard about this haunted house in Central Homa, Oklahoma, where this family that lived there, man, they just invited anyone in. You could come there and spend the night if you wanted to. They were very friendly people, and we were like, oh, man, that's awesome. Let's go do that. So we did. And like I said, granted, I did not believe in ghosts when I was 18. And I think first three times we went there, nothing happened. And I was like, dude, this is a bunch of bull. Um, they showed us these pictures of faces in the windows and told us all these stories about things flying around the house and eggs and pennies and all this. And at the point of three visits, I was just like, dude, this is crap. I don't believe none of this. But I will tell you, on the third or fourth night we went there, all HE double hockey sticks broke loose, and I left that house that night a true believer in ghosts. Well, I ended up man, it got kind of weird because like for a year, but probably at least a year, I spent every weekend with this family at this house, and I could write 6 books on the stuff that happened while I was staying with these people. I loved everybody that lived in this house. I'm not gonna name no names because I don't feel comfortable naming names
Well, I
if
mean, they
people
were
don't give me permission to.
right. They were super open back then. They may want a little bit of
Well,
privacy
that's what I'm
today.
saying. And I'm not gonna. I ain't even gonna name names of friends that went with me because I'm one of them people that.
Didn't you just say Adam went with you?
No, I didn't. But thank you. Well, let's not go further than Adam. But anyway, I don't feel comfortable naming names if if the people that I'm talking about have not told me. I don't mind if you drop my name. Okay, I just don't do that. It's not right. But anyway, I probably stayed the weekend at that house for at least a year, maybe a year and a half, every weekend. And like I said, all kinds of crazy stuff. You could never, ever, ever convince me that that stuff was fake after the stuff I saw. But and the grandma, oh, I will say her name because she's passed away, and I loved her to death. I loved everybody that lived there, but the grandma Maxine, that was the most comical, fun old lady you ever met in your life. I mean, you could just sit and joke and laugh with this woman, and in the middle of it, she'd get up and fry your eggs, and I mean, we just had a blast. Well, cut to 3, 4, 5 years after um, I quit, going out there as much anymore. This guy come out there, and he was a aspiring writer, and he wanted to stay with them for a couple of weeks and write a book about. Okay, before I go any further with him, there is actually an episode, and you can look this up on YouTube. There is actually a unsolved mysteries episode about this house in Central Homa, Oklahoma,
Yeah, I
which
remember
is
that. I remember when that got
yeah,
filmed.
and that's an insane episode because all these experts went out there and filmed, and they came to the conclusion that this house was not haunted. Um, it was the girl that lived there moving things with her mind. That
Hey,
was
that in
her.
itself is an
That
episode.
was what they say. That was their explanation. It's
Yeah,
not haunted. This girl's got telekinesis.
yeah. We went to
It,
we
it'd be
went to talk
easier.
about ghosts and ended up discovering
Fix to
superpowers.
say, wouldn't it be easier? Wouldn't it be easier to believe in ghosts than some girl having telekinesis and she can throw crap around
It
the
all
house?
falls it all falls in the
I
supernatural.
guess, but yeah, but
Supernatural
that's what they
paranormal
cut.
falls.
That was
So
the conclusion at the end of the episode. You can look it up on YouTube. Just remember, Unsolved Mysteries, Central Homa House. But anyway, this guy that I'm talking about, this writer, he went to stay with him a couple of weeks and he wrote a book. Look, it's called "You Can't See Me, But I'm Here." Okay, I read this book. It's not a real thick book. I mean, you see, it's let's see,
it looks
it
like it's about
is
75 to 100 pages, give or
it's
take.
it's around 124, 125
Okay.
pages. But yeah, it's a little book. It's a good book. I actually I'm probably one of the maybe 300 people that bought this book. It was probably self published. But anyway, I read it and I was like, wow, this blows my mind. All this stuff that happened to him happened to me. And I didn't think nothing of it. I really didn't. I was like, wow, man, all the same crap that I went through, he went through. Well, funny enough, I ran into one of the granddaughters. I'll say her. I won't say her name, but we called her Desi.
I don't think she'll care.
Yeah, I don't think she will either. But I ran into her one day and I said, "Hey, um, man, I bought that book that guy that's come and stay with." She said, "Oh yeah, that guy." And I was like, "Yeah, I bought that book." I said, "Man, that's crazy." I said, "Everything that happened to me happened to him." And she said, "Buddy," she said, "nothing happened the entire time he was here." I said, "But the book says," oh, she said, "Buddy, everything in that book is stuff grandmama told him about you." And I was like, "Are you messing with me?" She said, "No." She said, "No, buddy." She said, "Everything that he claimed happened to him in that book," she said, "is stuff grandmama told him stories about happened to you." I said, so this is about me.
So that's basically that's an undercover biography, is what that
Yeah,
is.
I said, so this is about me. She said, yes, buddy. She said, that entire book is about you. And I said, well, man, he should at least put my name in it. I mean, I don't want no money, but come on, man. I mean, I felt robbed, you know. But anyway, that's pretty cool. If you ever want to hear more stories about Central Homa, I mean, I can.
Well, give us a
I
couple.
can do 10 episodes.
Give us 2 quick stories. I mean,
Man, that's hard to do. I mean,
putting you on the spot.
I know you are.
Okay, give me the story. Give me the story where y'all are driving down the back road in the orb.
Oh yeah, well, that's a pretty. Back in the day, my mama owned this big old huge white Delta 88.
It was a tank. It was all metal from
this
top
thing
to
was
bottom.
a tank, and we had always a buddy of mine, Chris, would always drive this tank. And one time he was driving. We were coming home from Central Homa down the highway from Central Homa. If you're from around here, you know Tupelo, Central Homa, Colgate, they're all around that area. We were coming back to Ada from Central Homa, and Chris was driving. I was in the front seat. My buddy Mikey and my buddy Brad were in the back seat.
So no names, right?
But I didn't say last names.
I'm just messing with you.
I didn't say last names.
I'm just messing with you. Okay, so
some of them would probably want me to, but I'm not going to.
You said Chris was driving.
Yeah, and we were coming back, and all of a sudden we heard Mikey screaming in the back. He said, "Man, there's something behind us." And Chris did he grabbed the rearview mirror, and I turned around, and Brad turned around, and Mikey had already split totally around in the seat where he had his feet up against the back seat with his head up against the front seat of Chris's side, and they're pointing, and I look, and there's a blue. This was a dark. This was like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. This was a dark highway. We were the only one on the highway, and there was this blue glowing ball coming right. I mean, it was just behind us.
So, give or take, how far was it from the car at the time?
Oh, it had to be at least. I don't know distance. I would say maybe 3 diesel lengths behind us.
So 60 to 75.
Yeah,
give or take.
Yeah. And it was just flying perfectly, at like center of the lane we were in. And Mikey starts screaming. He starts kicking the back window, and I'm screaming, "Dude, don't bust my mama's window out!" But we're all freaking out. Brad has done slumped down in the seat, holding his chest like we thought he was having a heart attack. And then all of a sudden, and Chris, he just floored it, dude. Like we felt the acceleration. Like Chris was scared. We were all scared. He had done hit like we got to outrun this. And all of a sudden, this blue deal went, whoop, and it just went off in the woods, like right off the highway, like a perfect, what would you say, 90 degree?
Yeah, 90 degree.
Yeah, 90 degree, whoa, right off in the woods. Like it knew we saw it, so it.
You know what's crazy about that back then is
everything was crazy about that. Well,
you didn't hear a whole lot of stories about that kind of stuff back then. You hear more stories.
Yeah, when they talk about orbs. Yeah, orbs. We were seeing orbs back in 92, 93, like they were common. And now, you hear people talk about orbs all the time. You see videos of orbs going through houses on YouTube. This was 92, 93, dude.
Okay, now, second story. I want it to be, because we're just going to...
I know, I've told you all these stories 100 times.
Yeah, I want it to be the one where y'all said the night that Michael's mom, the ghost was there, and somebody manned
That's a whole episode, dude.
That's a whole episode?
Yeah, that was a whole night. That didn't happen like that. Wasn't here. I'll give you another one, but
you make it a quickie. Then.
Yeah, I'll make it a quickie. But one night, a bunch of us, they always talk about the cemetery in Central Homa. So one night we said, "Hey, let's load up in the car." And Michael's mom, that was
the cemetery. Where Rachel bit you on the neck.
No. We're talking about Rachel. That's a whole story.
Yeah, I know.
I can tell a whole, and I have friends that were involved in that Rachel thing too. That we can tell whole stories. That could be one big story. I'll do for next episode. That'll be my story.
Right. For context purposes.
Yeah.
Rachel was a spirit.
Yeah.
Rachel was a ghost. We ain't talking about no freaky.
Rachel was one of
these kind of stuff.
Rachel was one of these scariest spirits, and she has a whole backstory that is
Rachel. Honestly, dude, Rachel sounds like a succubus.
Well, who knows? But I'll tell you this, Rachel, the reason Rachel was so creepy and freaky, and I don't like talking about it, was Rachel had
you gonna talk about it.
town records that verified she existed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The whole house up on the hill, all that stuff. Okay, but here I'll tell you the one about. We went to the cemetery one night, and nothing happened. We all came back, and there was probably 6 or 8 of us in the house, and we piled into one. I think it was a Delta 88.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, we all piled in the car and went to the cemetery. Nothing happened. We come back, we go in the house, and we all get in the living room, and we're all just sitting there. And if you don't know anything about Central Homer, there was a central spirit named Michael, who was supposedly a little boy. That's who he was referring to about Michael's mama. That's a whole nother story we'll talk about.
And Michael's mom is a ghost also.
They're all leader,
we'll call leader, child killer, all them.
Child killer, all of them are spirits that were in Central Homer. But anyway, this night we come back. We're all just sitting in the living room, just laughing, joking. The lights are on. I think Maxine was cooking us something, and she come running in the room saying that she heard something out the kitchen window, and we're all just sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear Michael. Michael sounded like Mickey Mouse, like he really did.
I know the night I heard Michael.
Were you there the night I'm talking about right now?
No. This was years and years later. The only time I ever heard Michael was y'all used to say all the time. Michael sounded like Mickey Mouse. He had like a super high pitched voice.
Yeah, like squeaky, like a
little cartoon character.
Yeah.
One night when we were all sitting around, dude, I think it was me, Desiree, a couple of the other kids were in the living room.
Probably,
y'all were.
Yeah, Heather was probably there.
Heather was in the living room. There was a bunch of y'all in the kitchen carrying on, laughing, having a good time. People were walking through the house, and all of a sudden I heard it calling your name. Oh, yeah. He was like, buddy. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Don't let Aaron tell you.
Looking around.
Don't let Aaron tell you be a tough guy.
No.
He went out there, he'd be in fetal position on the couch.
See, the thing is though, I ain't being a tough guy. I thought one of y'all were messing with another one of y'all.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around.
Yeah, it's hard to mimic that voice.
None of the kids responded, and I hear it again. It's like, buddy. And I'm looking around. None of the kids are responding. I'm looking in there. Maxine's just carrying on talking. Y'all are laughing, having a good time. It was probably 15 to 20 years before I told anybody about that.
Yeah.
It called your name.
You can't mimic that
2
voice.
or 3 times, and then nothing. It's almost like you didn't respond.
Well, so he got up. He said pretty much screw you then. Yeah. But anyway, let me finish this.
But y'all got back to the house.
Yeah. So we got back to the house. We're all just hanging out. We're all in the living room. Like I said, Maxine was in the kitchen doing something. But then she comes in there and she says, "Man, there's something that's outside the kitchen window." And we were like, "Well, what do you mean?" And all of a sudden we heard Michael's voice say, "They're here."
Yeah. That's the one I thought you were talking about.
And we were like, "What?" And then he said it again. He said, "They're here." And we were like, I can't do the voice. But anyway,
yeah,
I was like, we were all like, "Who's here?" He said, "From the cemetery." And we were like, "From the cemetery?"
Your impression of Michael sounds like the butler from Scary Movie 2.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "Girl, strong
hand. Take my strong hand." Anyway,
okay, but he says from the cemetery.
So he said from the cemetery, and we're like, "What do you mean from the cemetery?" And all of a sudden, at the exact same time, dude, and this was, I don't even remember if anybody watching this, Mikey, Chris, any of y'all were there at that time, verify this, because there was a bunch of us. There were like 8 or 10.
And if you
multiple witnesses.
If you see this episode and you have any information that was left out, or to add to the episode, throw it down in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll continue.
Like I said,
we'll continue conversations in the comments.
95% of my Central Homer stories, there were witnesses. Like, it wasn't just me. There were multiple people there.
But they started hanging on the wall.
Yeah, I didn't say that yet.
You just did.
But anyway, yeah, it was like instantly, like we're all in the living room. It was like instantly all along the outside, front, back, sides. It sounded like 20 people just started doing their hands like that on the outside of the house. And man, it was, I want to say it was chaos, but it wasn't. It was like every one of us just slumped together in groups, like
Yeah,
we didn't know
because
what was
y'all
that.
thought y'all was about to die.
Well, we didn't know if night of the living dead. The first thing went to my head was that was probably right after I
Oh,
saw
that does give off
Night of the Living Dead.
a
Yeah,
zombie vibe, don't it?
yeah. I mean, everybody in that house, even poor little Maxine, just fell into the couch with us, and we all just kind of huddled over, and that was creepy, man.
Yeah.
That was one of them things that stuck with me for a while after that.
Okay, so that's the first ghost story we've told. I
That
don't
was the first
have
one of my
I don't
ghost stories. I can
have
tell, like I said,
I was about to say I don't
I can
have
tell
very
100
many.
of those.
Right, I don't have very many ghost stories. But like between you, Chris, and all of y'all, we've got tons and tons of ghost stories. Some of them are funny.
See,
Some of them are just downright terrible.
yeah, and ghost stories are weird because, like I said at the beginning of this story, I didn't believe in ghosts when I was 18. I went out. I didn't believe in ghosts until I started going to Central Homa, and the first 3 times, like I said, the first 3 times I went, nothing happened. I thought it was all bullcrap. I said, man, these people are con artists. And then that third or fourth night, all HE double hockey sticks broke loose, and boy, I believed in them after that.
Okay, well
And they even followed me home, and them are stories I can tell you later.
This episode.
My mama, the most Christian woman in the world, even had encounters because I was going out there and bringing stuff home.
Yeah, and just so you know, and somebody's mentioned that here lately too. That there's energy attached to everything. Everything is created.
Things can
Everything is created from energy, made up of energy, and has energy attached to it.
And there are what you can say, like I don't want to be cheesy, but there's gateways. Like
That's not
why
cheesy. That's the truth.
that's why I tell people all the time, as big of a ghost fanatic, and I used to be a big ghost hunter, and I used to mess around with them. But I tell people now, don't mess with Ouija boards. The fact that those were sold in the game section
They're
of
still
children's
sold.
toys,
Not in Walmart, I don't think, but you
yeah,
can still buy those.
yeah, was it Parker Brothers?
Parker
Yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah, don't mess with Ouija boards. That's a gate, and nothing. Even if I believe in ghosts, Aaron doesn't believe in ghosts, but I do believe.
No. Let's get this
Aaron
straight.
believes ghosts are demons.
Right, I believe in ghosts, but I don't think ghosts are our loved ones coming to watch over us.
And
or
you may
whatever.
be right,
I
may be wrong.
Ghosts are demonic energy from top to bottom.
And you may be right, and I may be wrong. But one of my number one things I will say is no ghosts are coming through that Ouija board. That is demons pretending to be.
But see, the thing is, though, right? That's what I was going to say. The thing is, though, is when you use a Ouija board, you are under the impression that you are talking to a person that once existed. You think you're talking to a ghost, but you're not. You're communicating with a demon.
Okay, well let me do something. This should be a whole nother episode, but I'm going to say something real quick.
Well,
but go ahead.
What? No, I was going to say.
No, I was going to say to prove people every time when I did mess with Ouija boards. When people would come over and they'd say, "Man, this is fake," I said, "Well, do it with me," and they say, "Okay." And this is how I proved it to Sonny and our beautiful late great sister-in-law Jamie. Was they come over, we put them down, I said, "Put your fingers on your side," and they did, and then I'd put my fingers on my side, but I would hover my fingers about that far above the planchard, which is and I'd hover them. And it'd start moving, and they were like, "Oh, you're moving that." I said, "Look down, look at the bottom of my fingertips," and they go, "Dude, you're not even touching it." I said, "How's it moving?"
And that's one of the ways that's one of the things they say not to do is never use a Ouija board first off, never use a Ouija board at all. But
and always say goodbye.
Never use one.
You got to make it go goodbye.
And they also say never
leave it on the board.
Never use one by yourself.
Yeah, well,
because they say you open yourself up to
because
possession.
The reason they say a demon can't possess you and a Ouija board when there's two of you is because there's two energies. It can't tap into one energy.
Right.
But when it's just you,
so when
it can tap into your energy.
Your fingers above.
Yeah, I was setting up. I was setting up.
To get your family possessed.
But, no, I didn't know that back then.
Well, yeah, none of us did, actually.
That's the reason I quit messing with them, man. Like I said, never leave the planchard on the board because you leave the gate open.
Or how about
if you don't make it say goodbye, you leave the gate open.
Or we can just say, don't ever use a Ouija board.
Yeah,
Because
that's what
it
I'm
is,
trying.
it is,
That was the moral of my story.
it is,
Don't mess
right,
with
right.
them.
It is,
There's some
Stephen,
things you need to leave alone.
there's this dude on YouTube that I watched a lot back then, in recent, couple years. His name was Stephen Dollins. He's an ex satanic high priest,
Oh
and
yeah.
he went into
Oh, I
basically
got a story.
the
Go
ranking
ahead.
system of demons. And one of the things that demons were known for is we all have what are referred to as familiars. Here on earth, each person is assigned so many demons to study you 24/7.
So there's
That's
more
why
than
when
8 billion
that's
demons.
why, yes, that's why when you ask a loved one, hey, prove to me that you are you, you got demons that have been studying your loved one
Yeah.
since birth. Of course, they're going to tell you
Yeah.
stuff that only they would know.
Okay. Well, that's here's a one I recently studied. There's this woman that she was a witch. She claims she's a witch, but she made it very clear. She said I was a Satanist. She
Same
said,
thing.
yeah, well, yeah, but most people say I'm a Satanist. They don't say I'm a Satanist that was a witch.
That's because most witches like to think that they're not doing.
Well, everybody knows,
They're
even
not
in
dealing
Native,
with darkness. No, 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 no.
even Native American lore tells you
But you've got
that you
people.
know if you're messing with evil.
Yeah, but
crap.
you've got people. Hey, you're shaking.
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
camera.
I'm sorry.
But you've got people who are under the impression that they're a good witch and that they're not dealing with evil.
Well, I don't think them witches would be involved or susceptible to the evil that somebody that acknowledged that they were an evil witch.
I promise you they would. You have good and you have
So
evil.
you're telling me that
you
these,
have God
these
in
nature
heaven,
witches, these
you
ones
have
that,
Satan in hell. If you are not with one, you're with the other. God Himself
well,
says there's no in between. There's no gray. You're either good or you're evil.
I
If
don't.
you're not, you may think you're doing good, and
I
you
don't
may.
think Wiccans
But here's the
are
thing.
evil.
I'm not saying they're.
I don't.
evil.
I believe their religion is bullcrap.
No, I'm
and
not
I will
saying.
say that,
I'm not
but
saying
I don't
Wiccans are
believe they're evil.
You're
They
not
just-
getting my point.
Okay.
I'm not saying Wiccans are evil. I'm saying Wiccans think they're doing good, and Wiccans can be amazing people, but they're still dealing with evil,
I'm just saying, I don't think dancing naked around the fire is going to get you sent to hell.
Oh, I promise you it will, buddy. If you're not with God, then you cannot go to heaven.
I dance naked around the living room. Am I going to go to hell?
Are you casting spells?
No.
Okay,
no.
then there you go.
But anyway, let me. You know that I have a one-track mind.
Yeah, and now we're talking
up.
about dancing naked around fires, man. Let's
okay,
stay
like
on
I
task.
said, you can throw me off real easy. My mind is
I throw myself off.
My mind is sporadic.
Okay, now what are you going to say?
Anyway, this lady claimed she was a witch and she was a Satanist. And she said that on numerous occasions that she claimed that she actually
hold your microphone. When you set your phone down beside it, I have a feeling we're getting a lot of calls.
Okay. Well, anyway, she said that that numerous times in her life she met Satan face to face and talked to him. And she said one time they were talking and she said, I don't know what come over me. She said, but I asked him, look, you speak about God, the Lord, a lot. She said, but tell me a secret. She said, is Jesus real? And she said, man, it was like this look of anger just came over his face. And he said, yes, he's real. Why would you ask me that? And she said, all of a sudden, she said, it felt like multiple entities just attacked me, spiritually. Mm-hmm. Like they were trying to possess me. She said, I honestly believe if that would have happened and I had not asked him this question, they would have took me over. She said, I think because of how the answer to that question struck me, it almost gave me an instant amount of strength that I was able to fight them off. She said, and after that moment, she said, I wasn't a Satanist no more.
Yeah.
She said, I completely become a Christian. She said, because the way he answered that question, she said, I had no doubt in my mind. She said that Jesus is real. She said, and it was like instantly I was like, I don't want to be a Satanist no more. She said it was over.
I don't know why you'd be a Satanist to begin with, but at the same
Because
time,
some people
they
do
say
it just to be different.
Satan is the father
Well,
of all lies. Well, he's also a good manipulator
I can
too.
give you a reason why people are Satanists. Because Satanism, um, it pretty much preaches instant gratification.
Hmm.
If you're a Satanist and you're loyal to Satan, he will give you the life,
Well, not just
the
that.
money, the cars, the fame. Uh, God don't promise that. God says
Well, you're gonna have a
if
hard
you
life,
love
yeah.
me, I will take care of you.
And that the
But
world's gonna hate you at the same time.
he don't promise gold. He don't promise fame, mansions, houses, and that's why a lot of people. Why do you think most of the people in Hollywood and stuff are
Well,
Satanists? Because
there's
they believe if you're a Satanist, Satan is going to give you everything you want in life
right,
now.
but
Now you're going to
they're
pay for it when
also
you die. You're
right.
going to pay for it when
Well,
you
no. So
die.
here's the thing, though, is they don't. Most of them don't know that.
No, they don't
There are
believe
three.
it.
There are three.
They know it. They
There,
don't believe
there,
it.
there are three beliefs of
They
Satanists
deny it.
that happen when you die. Your first group of Satanists, they believe in reincarnation. That if you serve Satan well enough in this life, he'll allow you to be reborn in the next life. The second one is the Satanists that believe that when they die, they'll go to hell, but they will experience the one singular moment that they got the most physical pleasure out of in this life. They'll experience that moment for all of eternity. And the third group believe that they're going to be part of the army in
Yeah.
Armageddon that are going to defeat God and
Yeah,
the
out of
angels.
here with
They're
that
going to
crap.
storm
Yeah.
heaven and they're going to
They
live
ain't
in heaven
storming
forever.
nothing. They're gonna be
Oh, they're going to storm something.
they're
They're
gonna
going to
be
storm right back down
they're
to
gonna be
hell.
food. They're gonna be food. That's what they're gonna be. Oh, I love sweet tea. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I mean it's self gratification. That's the only or instant gratification. I shouldn't say self. I should say
Well, I
instant
mean, it's
gratification.
self too.
That's why people become Satanists because they think Satan's gonna give me what I want now. I don't mind paying for it 40 years down the line if I get to live like a freaking
Hey, that
king
40, I was about to say that
today.
40, that goes with that
You
whole
know,
story.
I'll
King for a
suffer.
day or fool for a
Yeah,
lifetime,
that
or fool for a day, king for a lifetime.
yeah, the Faith No More album, full king for a day, fool for a lifetime. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, and I'd rather suffer for 30 years than and live in the kingdom of heaven for eternity than to be rich and
Filthy rich
pretty
and
much
live
be a freaking
120
and
years.
be a freaking pedophile or some crap and get to do whatever I want for
These
30
days,
years
I was about to say,
and then be in hell
you
getting
get
ripped apart
right,
every day for eternity.
you get connected with the wrong people, and that's almost a
Anybody,
requirement these
yeah,
days.
anybody that would pick Satanism over Christianity, none of that even it don't
Deception.
make no sense. Well,
It's deception,
yeah, but I
man.
mean, and we can go the other way because I'm the voice of reason. I'm not gonna sit here and bull crap or lie to anybody. There's a lot of these Christians out here in the world. They ain't no better than the Satanists,
They're not
and they're gonna pay for that.
Christians.
They're gonna pay for that crap
You're right,
someday
exactly,
too.
but they're not Christians though. Christianity isn't a title. You can't just say I'm a
Oh,
Christian
they
and
do.
no, but they're not Christians. Christianity is way of life. If you're a Christian, then that means you are actively following Jesus. If you're not following Jesus and you're living like the world, you're not a Christian.
Well, and
So
I'll tell you,
that's kind of the whole
yeah,
oxymoron thing about
yeah, and I'll tell you straight out, there's a lot
it.
of stuff that happens in this world that to bad stuff to good people.
Right?
But it's like I've told you a million times. You got to be careful what you put out into the world. I'll tell you a story right now. There's this beautiful little gal. She used to be an influencer on. I don't know all this crap. I don't know if she was TikTok or YouTube or
You talk about one of the ones that recently gave her life to Jesus.
no, this is a
No.
whole different
Okay.
story. This is a bad story that is sad. But I don't know if she was TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Her name was Kara. Let me see if I can. Santorelli. And this girl was 18 years old. Okay. And she was still a senior in high school. And she made a video of her just sitting in her car. And she says, the whole video, it wasn't, I shouldn't laugh. There's the whole video was just, it wasn't very long. She said, man, she said, all my friends and family tell me that I'm a horrible driver. She said, and that hurts my feelings. She said, I'm 18. I've been driving 2 years. She said, I've never been in an accident, nothing. This poor little baby girl died less than a week later
From
in an
car
auto
accident.
accident. And the weird thing was it wasn't her fault. She was going down the road, downtown, somewhere, wherever she lived, and a car was coming at her in the wrong lane, in her lane. And before either one of them realized what happened, both of them died. And that's one of them things I tell people. You gotta be careful
What you put out there.
put out
Well,
there.
we've done it 1,000 times
Oh
throughout
yeah,
our life, man. We used to joke.
everybody does
We
it.
used to joke about Daddy all the time.
Yeah.
How we was like, if he's ever going to pass away, it'll be in a car accident because he fell asleep or something, and that's
Yeah.
what happened.
That's
That's
what I'm
exactly
saying.
what
I
happened.
mean,
There's a dude at work.
but this little girl, she was beautiful, had a beautiful future, good person,
Right.
you know, as far as we know. I mean,
Well, there's
but she made that video just saying, that hurts my feelings that my friends and family tell me that I'm a bad driver because I've never been in an accident. And less than a week later,
Right.
this little girl
Well, there's a
dead.
dude at work. He was laughing one day because I was going on and on. I was mad. I just hit another deer. And I was telling him, man, this sucks. I'm sick and tired of hitting these deer all the time. If I'm not hitting them, I'm dodging them. And he's like, man, I'm glad I ain't never hit a deer without hesitation. I'm like, your day is coming. You will hit a deer eventually.
You curse that man.
Not on purpose, though.
I know.
Not even a month later, dude, he hit 2 deer at the same time. He was flying down the highway, normal speed, going to work. He was driving down the highway, and 2 deer come out from him. He hit them both at the same
Dang,
time.
he got the double whammy.
I felt so bad about that.
That
I pretty much spoke that
you jinxed that dude, man.
All right,
but a lot of that has to do with, you got to have faith, and you do. And what's the definition of faith? A lot of people can't. If you tell somebody what is the definition of faith, what would you say?
I would say it's believing without physically seeing. It's putting all your cares and worries on God, knowing that He's going to take care of you.
See, that's not even the definition of faith to me.
Even though you haven't seen Him face to face.
That's not even the definition. I mean, a true definition of faith. If I could write the Webster's Dictionary definition, it's the total, unwavering belief in something that there is no scientific proof it exists. That's why scientists say all the time Christianity is bullcrap because you can't prove to me that God is real. That's faith.
Hey, you know what I'm gonna
it's
do?
like we know it exists because we feel it.
I'm going to edit that clip of you just now saying that right now. I'm going to put that out there and see how many people attack you over it.
Let them.
No,
I ain't scared.
No.
I'm scared.
No, chop it up to where it looks like you're actually telling people that. No, I'm joking about that.
No, I don't care if you do.
About that.
You wouldn't hurt my darn feelings. I'd laugh about it.
But no.
I mean, you ask anybody. I know I'm prone to go off on Facebook sometimes, and sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm a little embarrassed at some of the stuff I posted on Facebook. But it's because sometimes I get too honest, and sometimes my too honest is maybe hurts people's feelings.
Yeah, I don't really post a whole lot. I like to go educational and like conspiracy.
Yeah, but my problem is I see this crap with these people I mean, and I'm not going to go into politics. I don't go into politics, but there's some of these people that are on the side of the opposite of right that they'll say things that don't make sense. But you know what I mean?
Both sides say stuff that don't make sense.
But what upsets me is I look at human beings and I say, you know better. Your mind knows. You're gonna have even if you say it, your mind knows, and it's telling you that what you said is
wrong. You're gonna have stupid people and crazy people on all sides of the spectrum.
I'm sorry, we kind of really went off on this episode.
All right, here we go. I got a pretty good little conspiracy theory for you.
Okay.
And it's not my conspiracy theory. I've heard one person say it, but I haven't heard anybody say it. Nobody's connecting these dots. Nobody's doing anything. Okay. According to a few articles I've seen in recent past, we're supposed to lose scientists claim we could possibly lose 7 seconds of gravity on August 12th.
I read a couple of those.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing is they claim that we could possibly lose 7 seconds of gravity. They haven't given an exact time, but they say we could lose that on August the 12th. Now,
that's between mine and Gloria's birthday.
You take that, what they're claiming could possibly happen, and you tie it to the 13. We're up to 13 now. Last I heard it was 12, but here recently there was another one. 13 missing scientists. all 13 missing scientists, their specialty is anti-gravity. So it makes me wonder.
That's weird.
If our deep state world government, not just United States, but deep state world government,
Antarctica.
Has some
It's
crazy
a lab in Antarctica.
fake event. Some people say alien invasion.
They can call it fake all they want. We'll see on the 12th.
Some people say fake rapture. You got all different kinds of conspiracies on exactly what's going to happen. But it makes you wonder if this organization that's killing off their own scientists that specialize in anti-gravity have something planned for August the 12th or around it that has to do with anti-gravity.
You know what gets me about that is I read all of them. I read a lot of them articles about the scientists disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that they were all anti-gravity.
Anti-gravity.
I mean, I read technology. The articles I read, none of it said they were all anti-gravity.
That's their that has been every one of them specialty that I've come across.
I guess we'll see what happens on 12th.
That's what I mean. It's just a conspiracy theory, but it makes you wonder. If
I'm gonna be in my house. So if I float, I won't fall
together. Yeah,
I won't fall more than that. I'd hate to be outside. You know how high you could go in 7 seconds.
But see, here's the thing: if gravity works the way they say it works, you shouldn't float. Gravity just means you have no weight, which means if I were to jump and I'm in mid-fall,
because a balloon,
I would just kind of hover.
Well, if you think about it,
isn't anti-gravity.
Well, that's what I mean. The only reason a balloon floats is because the helium.
That's what I mean. For the whole floating away thing doesn't make any sense.
What smell?
Anti-gravity.
It's cooking
you, food.
No, she's cooking something in there.
Yeah, she probably cooking.
But anyway, let me tell. Was that all yours? I don't want to cut you off.
Hit one and I'll hit another.
What? Okay. Well, I just want to tell a quick story. This is a real life story. This morning, I needed cigarettes, and I wanted to get my boys something for breakfast, so I drove 5 miles down the road to Rolfe, Oklahoma, and I was going to get them like a...
Man, you try to tell people exactly where we live. We make the wrong person mad, they'll show up on our doorstep.
Well, let them. I got guns. I ain't scared of them. Anyway, I drove there, and when I pulled up, because Gloria told me, she said, hey, you got to put a couple bucks in the gas tank, because the light's on. So I pulled in, and across the pumps was another vehicle, old beat up, looked like a PT Cruiser, a little black one. And this little old lady was standing out there. And I got out, and I was sitting there. I was supposed to walk in. I looked over at her, and she was just kind of, and she was about, man, she couldn't have been 4'6". Little plump lady wearing a dark, like one of them flowery moo kind of dresses. And I said, ma'am, are you okay? And she said, I can't figure out how to pump my gas. And I said, okay, well, hold on. So I went over there to a car, and, without doing anything, I pulled it out of a car, and I put it back in the pump. I said, give me just a second. I walked up there, poked my head in the door, and I said, hey, ma'am, can you turn this lady's gas back on? She said, oh, yeah. Are you going to help her? And I said, yeah. She said, oh, thank you. She said, she's been begging me for help, but I can't get out of here because customers. And I said, okay. So I went back out there. I put it in her tank, and I hit the little yellow button. I think she didn't hit the yellow button. She reached it with a pump. But anyway, I pumped her $20 worth of gas, and she starts telling me, she says, man, I've been having a really bad time lately. She said, but 2 days ago, she said, I started praying. She said, and she said, the last 2 days, she said, everybody has just been so nice and volunteering to help me with things without me even asking them. I said, well, ma'am, that's the power of prayer.
Right.
And she said, well, I want you, She said, well, I want to thank you so much. And I said, you're welcome. I said, you have a good day. She said, and God's going to bless you for helping me. And I said, well, I hope he does. I said, you have a good day. And I went back in the vehicle, or back in the convenience store. And, I had like $7 worth of change to get the boys something to eat. And a couple dollars, like literally like $1.80 in gas. I come back out to the truck, and she's gone. I open the door, there's a $20 bill laying in the front seat of the truck.
She could have put it there.
Now,
you could have accidentally dropped it. Anything. God works in mysterious ways due to a random wind.
I didn't accidentally drop it because I didn't have no $20 bill. But no, she did it, and I just thought that was the sweetest. I wish I'd have known because I told her no.
Right.
But that's probably why she didn't ask.
That's what we do. We tell them no because we do what we do just to
help. But I had a guy one time offered to help me with something, and I said, no, dude, I'm good. Don't. And something he said changed my entire uh, belief on a lot of stuff. He looked at me. He said, "Don't take away my blessing." And I was like,
Oh yeah,
"Yeah,
I've heard people say that before.
yeah." He said,
Yeah.
"Don't take away my blessing." He said, "Me blessing you is going to give me a blessing."
Right.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, go."
Another conspiracy theory. I'm gonna get my
You're
tinfoil.
full of them,
I'm
ain't you?
gonna
Yeah.
make me my little tinfoil hat.
Make
It's gonna
me
be
one,
nice.
too.
You want me to make you one? I'm okay. I'll make you one
Make
because
me a tinfoil hat.
I got years worth of conspiracy theories. It's gonna be
I
great.
bet you do. I
get
know
to finally,
you do.
I get to finally unload on the internet.
I have a few, but
It
I'm
is
not like
beautiful.
you. I don't. I mean, you and Joe Rogan. I mean, good Lord.
Joe Rogan doesn't have conspiracy theories. He talks about conspiracy theories with other people. They
Yeah. Well, and usually he won't talk about one unless he can end it with some basis.
Right. Okay, I got another one for you.
Yes, we're Joe Rogan fans. We hope that doesn't offend you.
Here's I don't think anybody cares, to be honest. Not the kind of crowd we're going to pull in. Okay, here's the thing. Is you have, and a lot of this is proven, you have tunnel systems under the ground.
Yep.
That's already been proven.
They claim there's tunnels under Ada.
Right. You could no. I'm talking like military style transportation.
Well, what's that Denver airport?
Yes,
that supposedly has an entire city underground.
Yes.
That's just empty.
You also have.
Supposedly.
No, they ain't empty. I promise you, they ain't empty. But you also have multiple underground cities throughout the United States. There is a lady, a whistleblower, a Pentagon whistleblower, that recently said that there is a city underground here in the United States that is so massive that they have spent, and I could be wrong on this, so don't destroy it.
It's a conspiracy theory anyway.
But she says that they have spent over $70 trillion on this city, almost like they're
the government.
The government, which would account for a lot of our missing trillions on trillions that we have been missing for a while, that the Pentagon can't account for.
Yeah.
But between the underground cities, all these underground government bunkers. They're all
we know them exist. Yeah,
all these
they got them underneath the White
underground
House.
super highways and stuff. There's a conspiracy theory floating around right now that claims that all these AI data centers are not AI data centers. They are basically super energy plants that are powering this underground network that we got going on right now. Because keep in mind, our
these big city size AI centers are building all over the country.
Those are actually just power plants.
But how do you explain how that? Okay, I watched a thing over this where somebody was talking about one of them, and they said ever since it moved into their town, they said they can't even drive down the road because the diesel traffic. You know, they can't even.
Well, they're just.
So what are the diesels for?
They're still building on to it, though.
Oh.
That's the thing, is they're still building on to it. But our grid above ground is so strained that you have rolling blackouts, brownouts, all that stuff. And if you continue to enlarge these cities underground, you're going to overload above ground, and all of a sudden, it's almost like they are like, "Hey, let's build data centers everywhere on an energy system that can't handle what we've already got." So it would make sense that these data centers are actually power plants for the underground cities that we got going on, that they're building right now.
Maybe.
I mean, when you think about it, dude,
what are they powering?
What are they? The underground cities. The underground government facilities.
So who's living there? You got to understand where I'm coming from. Okay, I'm weird about
so that ties.
I ask questions.
Right. So that ties to a whole new.
So who's living down there?
That ties to a different conspiracy theory.
The lizard people.
That says, boy, that's another episode too. But no, that ties into the whole thing where our government, they say, is preparing for some cataclysmic event on the top. And not a whole lot of people are living there right now, but they're building them for when we have to go down. 12 Monkeys is a good example. 12 Monkeys, you remember that, don't you? We all lived underground.
With little eye?
Yeah, Brad Pitt's creepy eye. Yeah.
I ain't going down there. I'd rather die up here than go down there.
Buddy, we're not big and powerful. We're not rich. We're not.
Yeah, if they're that big, they'd take everybody in.
You think they're going to take everybody in? No,
yeah, but
they're not.
They're not going to just take the 1% because that's way more
they're going to
space
take.
than
They're
they
going to
would
take
need for the
anybody.
1%.
They're going to take the 1% plus all your
The
academics.
doctors,
Yes, all your
all
academics
your lawyers.
that can
Well, we don't
serve
need
them
lawyers
well in
down
the
there,
future.
but yeah,
Exactly.
scientists. I get what you're saying.
They're going to want to repopulate
I don't want to go down
the
there
world with
anyway.
smart people.
I don't want to go down there anyway. Maybe they'll take my sons, but I don't want to go down there.
Buddy, whatever happens, if it's big enough that it's going to mess up here, we probably going to die in the process anyways. All right, so you got anything else to add?
No, brother,
that's pretty much it. We spent almost an hour on this episode.
I am mentally spent right now.
All right, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. For the
We hope y'all enjoyed this.
This is episode 4, I believe. 4.
Man, we need to split it up into 4 and 5.
Well, I'm going to take and chop this episode up anyways.
Okay, but anyway,
it's going to be a full episode plus episode.
Everybody watching, just do us a big favor. We're only on Facebook and YouTube right now, but please go, man, subscribe.
Just like the video, share the video, comment.
Help us out, man. We're trying to build. We ain't got much stuff right now.
Recommend to a friend.
Yeah, we ain't got much stuff right now. We realize that.
We're new, we're new, but we'll get better.
We're going to start trying to do a couple episodes a week to where maybe, in a year we'll have over 100 episodes.
Yeah, possibly.
But we appreciate if you're watching this.
Well, I mean, even at one episode a week in a year, we'd have 365 episodes.
One episode a week is only
52. Oh, I'm stupid.
But Matt,
I'm thinking 365 days.
You must have went to that Samoan Leering Center.
The Leering Center.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yep, that's another episode too. All right, y'all have fun. We'll see y'all later.